I love my trail running, right?
Well, the other day, a certain online retailer decided I desperately needed a new pair of running shoes.
Sounds great in theory.
But when the suggestion popped up, I swear I thought they were joking.
Picture this neon pink sparkly laces.
Like the kind of shoe designed for a 5-year-old who thinks glitter solves everything.
Let's just say it was a stark reminder that while recommender systems are everywhere these days,
They still got a lot to learn.
and I'm sure you've had your fair share of head-scratching recommendations too, right?
You're absolutely right.
It makes you wonder what goes on behind the scenes.
When it comes to new users or even new products, these systems can really miss the mark,
See, most recommender systems today rely heavily on past data.
which makes them prone to getting trapped in a kind of feedback loop.
A feedback loop, huh?
Exactly.
The more popular an item is, the more it gets recommended, simply because the system sees a lot of activity around it.
This creates a cycle where those popular items keep dominating while newer or more niche options struggle to gain visibility.
It's like that old saying, the rich get richer.
But in this case, it's the popular items that keep getting all the love, potentially leaving some hidden gems undiscovered.
So how do we break free from this popularity contest?
That's where this deep dive gets really interesting.
The research paper we're looking at today, Recommender Systems with Generative Retrieval, proposes a pretty fascinating solution called, you guessed it, generative retrieval.
Now, I know that might sound a bit intimidating at first,
Trust me, when I first saw the title, I thought I was going to need a degree in computer science to understand it.
but stick with us because this is where things get really cool.
Essentially, generative retrieval is all about shifting from simply matching items in a massive database to actually predicting what the user might want.
And that's a fundamental change.
Imagine instead of just fetching books from shelves based on a basic keyword search, you have a librarian who knows your tastes so well they can anticipate the kind of book you'd enjoy even before you ask.
Okay, that's a game changer.
So instead of just looking at my past purchases, trail running shoes, granola bars, more trail running shoes, it's like the system is actually trying to understand my underlying taste and preferences.
Precisely.
And this is where large language models, or LLMs, come into play.
Instead of just focusing on what you clicked on in the past, LLMs can dive deep into the actual content of items to make much smarter connections.
Now, how do they do that?
The paper mentions something called a semantic ID.
And it sounds like that's a crucial piece of this puzzle.
It absolutely is.
Think of a semantic ID as a secret code that captures the meaning of an item, not just its name or ID number.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Tell me more.
So instead of simply seeing product A and product B, the LLM understands these are both, for example, lightweight, breathable trail running shoes with excellent arch support.
It's about understanding the details, the nuances, the things that really matter to you as a consumer.
It's getting into the nitty-gritty like color, brand, style, functionality,
Yeah.
all those factors that influence our preferences.
Yes.
And the paper gives a great example of this with beauty products.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
The system was able to categorize products not just into broad categories like hair care or makeup, but it went deeper, breaking them down into shampoos, conditioners, lipsticks.
All this based on the actual product descriptions.
It's a level of granularity that traditional recommender systems just can't achieve.
And this is where the paper gets even more fascinating. Because to create these semantic IDs, they use a specific technique called,
RQVAE.
that definitely sounds like a mouthful.
It does, doesn't it?
It stands for Residual Quantized Variational Autoencoder.
Okay, maybe we don't need to unpack all of that right now.
But help us understand why this RQVAE thing is so important.
You got it.
Imagine a giant library, but instead of just having books randomly scattered around, RQVAE acts as a super librarian organizing all those semantic IDs into a multi-level hierarchy.
It's like having fiction, and then within that mystery, and within that Scandinavian noir, for those with very specific tastes.
This hierarchical organization means the system can understand your preferences on multiple levels, leading to much more nuanced and accurate recommendations.
So it's not just about recommending any trail running shoe.
It's about understanding the specific features and styles I gravitate towards, and then finding other products that match those nuances.
And because it actually understands the content, it can even recommend new items that have never even been purchased before.
You're catching on quickly.
It's a game changer for discovering those hidden gems that would have otherwise gotten lost in the shuffle.
This is what the paper refers to as cold start recommendation.
Cold start recommendation.
That sounds like the holy grail for anyone who's ever felt frustrated by those "you might also like" suggestions that totally miss the mark.
It really is a game changer, especially for new products or users who don't have a long history of interactions.
Traditional systems really struggle in these situations,
Right.
but generative retrieval with its semantic ID approach opens up a world of possibilities.
It's like the system can finally understand what we're looking for, even if we haven't explicitly searched for it before.
But tell me, is it just about recommending new items, or does this technology have other tricks up its sleeve?
Great question.
The researchers also explored how to adjust the system to control for diversity in the recommendations.
Because let's face it, even if we love trail running shoes, we don't necessarily want to see 20 different pairs that are practically identical.
Exactly.
We've all been there, right?
You buy one thing and suddenly your entire feed is flooded with almost identical items.
Right.
It gets a bit repetitive.
So imagine the system knows you're interested in lightweight, breathable trail running shoes.
With this focus on diversity, it might recommend some trail running sandals as well, or maybe even some high-performance socks specifically designed for moisture wicking on long runs.
It's about broadening your horizons while still staying true to your core interests.
That makes so much sense.
It's like the difference between browsing a curated selection in a boutique versus being stuck in a room with endless copies of the same thing.
That's a great analogy.
This emphasis on diversity isn't just about keeping things interesting.
It can actually have a profound impact on our experiences online.
Oh.
Tell me more.
Well, for starters, it can help combat biases.
Traditional recommender systems, because they rely on past data, can sometimes perpetuate existing biases in the data itself.
But by prioritizing diversity, we can help surface a wider range of voices and perspectives.
That's huge.
It's not just about finding cool new products, it's about creating a more inclusive and representative online experience for everyone. And beyond that, this focus on diversity can also help us break free from those dreaded filter bubbles.
You mean those online echo chambers where we only ever see information that confirms our existing beliefs?
Exactly.
By introducing an element of controlled randomness and diversity into the recommendations, we can be exposed to different viewpoints, new ideas, and things we might never have discovered otherwise.
It's like adding a little serendipity back into our online explorations.
Instead of just reinforcing what we already know, it's about encouraging curiosity and expanding our horizons.
And that's where things get really exciting.
Because this paper, while focused on product recommendations, hints at the vast potential of this technology in other areas.
Okay, I'm definitely picking up on your enthusiasm.
What else can you imagine this being used for?
What are the possibilities beyond online shopping?
Oh, the possibilities are truly endless.
Imagine applying this to music recommendations.
Instead of just suggesting songs by artists you've listened to before, imagine a system that truly understands the nuances of your musical taste.
Okay, I'm already hooked.
Give you all the details. So we were just painting this picture of a world where music recommendations go beyond the same old algorithms.
Okay,
I'm ready for my mind to be blown.
we'll get this.
Yeah.
Imagine a system that
Instead of just looking at your past listening history, actually understands what you love about certain genres,
the specific instruments or vocals that resonate with you.
even the emotional tone you're going for at that moment.
So instead of just getting more like this, it's like, I need some upbeat jazz for this sunny afternoon, but with a touch of melancholy.
And boom, the perfect playlist magically appears. It's like having a personal AI DJ who knows your taste better than you know it yourself.
But doesn't stop at music.
Okay.
Think about the implications for news and information.
Ooh, that's a big word.
We're all battling information overload these days.
Right.
How could generative retrieval help us navigate that?
Imagine a world where instead of being trapped in echo chambers,
Fed only information that confirms our existing biases, we could break free and explore a wider range of perspectives.
what if we could have algorithms that understand the nuances of our interests, our values, even our blind spots?
And then recommend articles, documentaries, podcasts that challenge our assumptions and broaden our understanding of the world.
So instead of just filtering the world for us, it's
Yeah.
actually helping us explore it in a more meaningful, well-rounded way. And what's really exciting is that generative retrieval isn't just about presenting us with more options.
It's about making connections, uncovering those hidden relationships between ideas, concepts, even people that we might never have discovered on our own.
It's like the difference between just reading book reviews and actually having a conversation with someone who really knows literature.
And can recommend something that perfectly fits your unique tastes and interests.
They can even articulate why it's a good fit, connecting the dots between different authors, genres, writing styles.
That's a great analogy.
And this is where I think the true power of large language models lies.
In their ability to understand and respond to those nuanced individual preferences.
It's not just about crunching numbers or analyzing past behavior. It's about understanding meaning in a way that feels almost human.
And as someone who's been on the receiving end of some truly bizarre recommendations, let me tell you, understanding meaning is a huge GE step forward.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
From the nitty-gritty of semantic IDs and RQVAE to the mind-blowing potential of personalized music recommendations and escaping those pesky filter bubbles.
What's the key takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with today?
I think the most important takeaway is that generative retrieval, powered by these incredible large language models, has the potential to revolutionize the way we discover and interact with information.
It's not just about making things more convenient or efficient. It's about empowering us to be more curious, more informed, more open-minded explorers in a world overflowing with information.
It's about moving beyond just being passive consumers of content and becoming active participants in shaping our own experiences online.
It's about reclaiming that sense of serendipity and discovery that can sometimes feel lost in the digital age.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, there you have it, folks.
Next time you're browsing online and a recommendation engine seems to get, you remember there might just be an LLM working behind the scenes trying to understand your unique tastes and help you uncover your next favorite thing.
Who knows? Maybe it'll even surprise you with something truly extraordinary.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.